Thank you all for being here. It's a bit of an embarrassment of riches that we are beginning this early, but we're happy to do so. And then there's Mike Plew, who is destroying the place, but I want to welcome you all. My name is Lance Strait. I'm the president of the Institute of General Semantics. I'll greet you more formally tonight, but for now, I just want to welcome you to the opening session of our symposium on the theme of non-Aristotelian perspectives, ecological approaches, and the Anthropocene. And our first session is going to start right now, and I'll be moderating that along with Tom Gencarelli, who'll take over later. The first speaker will speak on the topic of the era of Dataism, confusion, and loss of communication from Universidad Panamericana in Mexico City, IGS trustee Laura Trujillo Linan.
Thank you very much, Lance. I'm so happy to be here another year. Can machines act like humans? This is an old question Descartes made in the 1600s. Then, in 1950, Alan Turing proposed a new question. Can machines think? And created the Turing test, an assessment designed to determine whether a computer is capable of thinking and acting like human beings in terms of a conversation. Although we are several years ago away from physical machines manifesting themselves as humans, thanks to the data mining or big data, the age of the digital human economy has already begun. A digital human is an artificial intelligence-driven representation with characteristics as personality, knowledge, and mindset of a human. They are able to interpret speech, emotion, and even gestures and produce their own speech, tone, and body language. They appear to be humans and behave in a human-like manner. Examples: virtual influencers, AI avatars, and human robots. I would like to show you this video that I love.
The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. The more I know, the more I realize I know nothing.
The man who says he can and the man who says he cannot are both correct.
Be a free thinker and don't accept everything you hear as truth. Be critical and evaluate what you believe in. If you find yourself acting to impress others, or action out of fear with what they might think, you have left the path. No one can construct for you the bridge upon which precisely you must cross the stream of light. No one but you, yourself, alone.
Well, those are some examples of AI avatars. Imagine Steve Jobs participating in your next innovation brainstorm, or Peter Drucker helping develop your organizational strategy. Why hire a celebrity, a supermodel, or even a social media influencer to market your product when you can create the ideal brand ambassador from scratch? Whether the digital persona is of a person alive or dead, real or fictional, the digital twin will be able to interact as if these people are in the room with you. Here are multiple scenarios for digital humans today and tomorrow. But how did we get to this age, and how good is data mining? Human beings have gone through an evolutionary process of many years that has led them to change the way they act, think, and communicate. Their media, according to Marshall McLuhan, have made human beings grasp reality in different ways and construct their culture. This evolution can be seen from different perspectives, such as Luciano Floridi, who divided history in three epochs. The first one is prehistory, in which ICTs, or information and communication technologies, did not exist. Number two, history, in which ICTs emerged, but human beings did not depend on them, but on other media. Number three, hyperhistory, in which human life develops based on technology, information, and depends entirely on it. He points out the importance of the technology in the contemporary era, because today, thanks to technology, we can see the development of humans from data. In this graph, you can see the amount of data that is produced, stored, and used for various purposes. As you can see, the amount of data has grown exponentially from 2015, and these favored predictions in human action. Both McLuhan and Floridi highlight the importance that technology has in our daily life. Data are obtained, classified, and used to give us a vision of the world, a map of the territory, and then act accordingly. In hyperhistory, humans live at the expense of data, or as Byung-Chul Han points out, imprisoned by data. As we find ourselves in an era where information and its processing through algorithms and artificial intelligence determine and predict social, economic, and political processes. Unlike other times, bodies are not exploited, but information and data. Nowadays, digital information technology makes communication a surveillance medium. Whenever we search the internet, social networks, or any platforms, we are directed to see, hear, think what governments or companies want. In this sense, the more data we generate, the more we communicate through smart devices, the more effective surveillance and precise data mining will be. Through the media, such as the smartphone, it is possible to be in communication all the time, but also be watched and tied up to the tools we have created. Paradoxically, it is precisely the sensation of freedom that ensures domination. That is, people are trapped in information. They put on the shackles themselves by communicating and producing information. The digital prison is transparent. Byung-Chul Han points out the perfect representation of this Dataist era in which information data prevails over the person. The perfect example is the flagship store of Apple in New York. As a glass cube, it is a temple of transparency, which in turn represents the architectural antithesis of the Kaaba in Mecca. The Kaaba, whose meaning is cube, is covered by a black cloak, and only a few can access its interior. It is a representation of the ancient, where visibility is denied to give way to the theopolitical domination. The Apple building, unlike the Kaaba, is open 24 hours. Anyone can enter. Both constructions represent the arcane and the new. Transparency, however, an openness that the glass cube shows also suggests limitless freedom and communication. In reality, materializes the ruthless domination of information. Transparency is the front of a process that escapes visibility. It has a back that we cannot see. Through the smartphone, our world transforms into a digital prison that meticulously records our everyday life. And from this data, they control us, not through coercion and prohibitions as in the past, but with positive incentives, with likes and shares. The current regime exploits freedom instead of suppressing it, thereby controls our will on an unconscious plane rather than violently breaking it. In the Dataist era, being free doesn't mean to act, but to click, to like, and to post. Thus, avoiding revolution because consumption and revolution are mutually exclusive. In this way, we can see that data is very important for the current era, as it allows everything to remain as it is. Precisely, there were masses controlled through propaganda, through mass messages that serve as bullets that arrive with great force and impact an entire society. Today, things do not work like that. Thanks to data, the age of the mass man has ended. Today, the man with a profile prevails. He or she has been profiled and designed accordingly to the standards that the data throws. So it is possible to manipulate not in mass, but in a personalized way. On the other hand, Dataism has led us to the erosion of communicative action. Today, there is no discourse. Everything is reduced to data. Some Dataists could even claim the artificial intelligence listens better than human beings. Byung-Chul Han has called this the new way of communicating, the digital rationality, in which there is no longer a discourse to reach agreements. There is no longer reflection nor the disposition to learn. And artificial intelligence does not reason, but computes. Algorithms replace arguments. In this sense, from the Dataist perspective, democracy will cease to exist in the near future. It will give way to infocracy as digital post-democracy. Finally, the Dataist regime has led us to a new nihilism, not of values or ethical principles, but even more radical. Today, we have lost faith in truth. We believe what we see and hear on social networks or on the internet. Our truth is disconnected from reality. We live in a de-factified universe where there are no facts, only fake news, echo chambers, deep fakes, malicious bots, dark patterns, fake people. The new nihilism is a symptom of the information society. Today, the lie does not pretend to be truth. In the Dataist regime, the distinction between truth and lie is undermined, and thus truth and also lie disappears. This is why in 2005, the New York Times resorted to the neologism truthiness as one of those words that capture the spirit of the times. Truthiness reflects the crisis of truth. It refers to truth as a subjective impression that lacks all objectivity, all factual solidity. He who is blind to facts and reality is a greater danger to truth than the liar. The question that is demanded for us is, are we aware of this? Do we know what is happening, and are we countering this situation for the good of society? Or do we prefer to let ourselves be carried away from the totalitarian regime of information? Today, we live in prison in a digital cave, although we believe we are free. We are chained to the digital screen. The Plato cave is now a screen. Thank you very much.